Good afternoon, guys. It's Brett here with Directors. Thanks for joining this week's live. So this week, I wanted to talk through some of the common pitfalls in the mortgage experience that create either a tougher experience for a client or a more challenging process and some solutions on it. So ultimately, guys, buying a home or doing a refi, there's always a lot to do. There's big numbers, there's data we have to go through, but it doesn't have to be a terribly hard process. It's just going to be key to have some of these things in mind and think about the communication between yourself and your lender. They're a team. You got to work together on it. So number one, incomplete docs. So, I know a lot of times as clients are doing a loan, there's sometimes frustration around, hey, we need so much information. So a couple things to keep in mind. One, typically we're lending $500,000, $600,000 or $1 million. It's a lot of money out there. The ultimate investor, the bank, the mortgage company, they got to document it, guys. So I think just approaching it the right way to say, hey, I'm borrowing a ton of money here. I'm going to have to provide some docs. That being said, it doesn't have to be super hard. So for example, is just provide the docs requested. Now, of course, if there's questions on it, reach out to it, guys. But typically a lender is not going to be asking for something that they don't need. Now, I always like clients to know, don't take this information personally. Whether you make $100,000 a year or you make $5 million a year, they're still going to ask for these docs. It's not that a lender doesn't trust you. It's just that there's certain requirements that we are required to verify. Some of those are internal guidelines. Some of those are federal guidelines. Remember, after 2008 and the industry blew up, there's a lot of federal requirements on lenders. So oftentimes some of the things we ask for, not even for us ourselves, it's for the federal guidelines. So again, I think approaching it the right way is, hey, this is not because someone doesn't trust you or they don't think you're a good risk. It's because they just got to build that file proper to deliver it in the secondary market and to meet those federal guides. I think that helps mindset wise that, again, we're on the team. We just want to gather the right information to help get the loan done and deliver it just like you guys want as well. So that's good. Now, with those documents, so one, make sure to provide those items the lender's asking for a reason, but provide complete documents to help make it easier. So if it's a bank statement, guys, we're going to need all pages of it. If it says page 1 of 5, we need 5. So I've found for so many clients, if we have that right out of the gates, it prevents the need of you having to go back and get more things. Or if it's provide 3 pay stubs, we're going to want 3 consecutive pay stubs. So simple things there, guys, but it's nice to say, hey, if you're going to take some time to sit down, provide the docs, let's get the right information out of the gates. And then again, within that, we want recent docs. So again, sometimes we understand you certain statements are going to be post-dated a little bit, but I mean, you got to get the most recent documents to, again, prevent us from having to ask for more for you. So fairly easy there, but just the mindset around documents. That's one of the biggest things of our job is just verifying these different documents and confirming what your income is, confirming what assets you have, things like that for us. So that's going to be number one for us around the docs. Number 2 for us, guys, changes in financial situation. So as you could imagine, looking back of just over the history of mortgage, especially in the 2008 era, so many times different things popped up, whether halfway through a loan, somebody quit their job, or they moved their money around, or now they took on another debt. Things do come up and we totally appreciate life happens. We may do a pre-approval and in the next 2 or 3 months, something happens for you. Or even in the middle of a loan, you're in contract, we're closing in 30 days. Well, now something comes up. The key here, guys, is transparency on it. There are many, many, many checkpoints throughout the process that, again, we're required to do, or the feds require us to do. So if you go out and buy a new car, it's going to pop up. If you co-sign on a debt, it most likely is going to pop up. If you move money around. Now, I don't say these things to be negative or to scare you. The key is if something pops up, just let us know. I have plenty of clients that call and say, hey, Brett, unfortunately, I know we're in the middle of a loan, but my car, the transmission, blew up on us. So I need to buy a new one. And if I know about it and we can talk over, hey, what's that new car payment going to be? It might be perfectly fine. But I think the key is if we know something, we almost always can find different solutions and make it a smooth process. But if it randomly pops up right before closing, that could be challenging. So be transparent on any type of changes. Hey, if I'm co-signing on a debt for a kid, if I'm buying anything, applying for any kind of new debt, oftentimes folks go out there and say, I'm so excited about a new house. Now I'm going to go buy a bunch of furniture and appliances and things on credit. Well, guys, that pops up. So again, just have that transparency to reach out and talk over anything that might change between the pre-approval or definitely within that loan process. So we as an industry can help guide you and make it as smooth as possible. Number three, misunderstanding loan conditions. Guys, we want to make it a smooth process, and we understand this is something we don't maybe do all day long, right? From your guys' side. So if we request a condition to say, hey, the underwriters approved the loan, but we need this, please feel free to ask for clarification on it if it doesn't make sense. We're always happy to give you the reasoning behind it again. Now, just like I mentioned up front, don't take these things personally. It's not because we don't trust somebody. It's just, again, what do we need to package this file for proper delivery? But feel free to ask questions on it. We're happy to say this. Or if you can't get something, that's okay. Let's see what an alternative is. Hey, I'm not able to provide this condition, but I could say, well, guys, what about this, this, or this? So again, having those conversations, don't let the frustration build up. Just reach out to us. We're happy to chat through those discussions, as are many lenders, to figure out what's the right solution there. Now, conditions is one thing. If there's questions around requirements of down payment, credit score, things like that, again, we can talk through it. The other big thing I really like to encourage clients is the numbers. Now, personally, we work really hard to go over a lot of detailed numbers up front so a client understands rates, fees, payments, how much cash they need. But I think this can be a source of frustration in the process. So please feel free, whether it's us or another lender you're working with, to make sure there's plenty of conversations. You ask any questions you may have on the numbers. Never want to see a client get to closing and be surprised on the amount of cash or be surprised by their payment. There should have been plenty of time to talk about that up front. So if you have questions on the loan conditions, what documents we need, or what numbers look like at any point in the loan, definitely reach out, get those clarified, and that'll make a lot smoother for you and take away some stress. Now, I think the last kind of piece I wanted to touch on, guys, is feeling like you need to hide or cover something up. I know I kind of alluded to it a bit, but guys, we're a team here. We want to understand what's going on so we can put you in the proper loan and structure it the right way. So I think, unfortunately, there's definitely times where someone feels like, maybe this isn't the right thing to say to a lender or this. The challenge is, guys, one, we don't ever want you to be in an awkward position feeling like you're withholding something. But number two, most of the time, something is going to come up. There's so many details on public record, all these different checks that can be done nowadays. If something pops up at the very end, there may not be time to fix it. This could cause a delay or challenges. If we know about it up front, we're going to be able to help you address what's the proper solution to this challenge or whatever that concern may be. So again, guys, think of us as a team. We want to have a great experience for you, but we got to know what the scenarios are in the situation. So be fully transparent, as we will be with you. Ask any questions you have that we can clarify. And remember, we're not focused on trying to make things tougher for you or ask things because we don't believe in you. It's just we need to package the right deals for the secondary market. So I hope that helps, guys, with some perspective. Always want to have the best experience possible. So with any questions on that or your particular scenario, feel free to reach out and we are happy to help. Thanks so much.